Hi there. Today I'm going to have a chat with Lofty. He thinks it's a nice friendly chat, but it's not, because I'm going to be casting away on an island. So we're going to have a chat and then ask, as per usual, for Marooned and Attuned, a few particular questions. Okay, so nice to see you again, Lofty.
Good to see you. Good to see
Now,
you.
what a lot of people don't know, and I was mentioning this to you earlier, I think of you as a really naughty boy, because
Correct.
last time we were together you were serving behind the tuck shop for us while we were raising funds for a youth group going to Africa, and you were there eating sweets with that cheeky grin on your face, and you get kids coming up to the stand and go, "Oh wow, it's Lofty." It was brilliant. Anyway, people of my age are very aware of you. You know, you've been quite instrumental in the development of us, you know, those of us that are keen on the military and survival. Now, you, for people that don't know you, were the youngest person at the time to pass selection for the SAS. I think you were 18.
I was 18 on selection.
Yeah. Now, you'd been in the Paras before, hadn't you?
I'd done a year with the Paras, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be even as long as a year in the Paras. If you'd been a Fusilier, you would have stayed there.
Well,
yeah.
I'd done a year with the Paras and it wasn't my cup of tea.
But like anywhere, you get a good lot of people as well, don't you?
Of course you do, of course
yeah.
you do.
So what was it like being the youngest person? Were you really nervous, or?
No, I looked up to my peers and I really respected my elders, you know, especially when I joined the regiment. And I just followed their lead. They kept an eye on me. It was like a big apprenticeship.
Yes.
And
so keep your head down, do your best.
I knew when to talk and when to keep quiet, you know, and I tried to follow their example. And before you know it, from being one of the youngest, you become one of the oldest, you know.
Yeah.
That's how fast time goes. So, yeah, and I joined the regiment straight away. I knew it was for me, you know. The Paras were okay, the physical side was great, but the bullshit was horrendous, you know. And that's what I couldn't take. And I joined the regiment and I was treated like a man. The sergeant called me Lofty straight away. We're in the Paras, you had to stand to attention to a lance corporal, you know. So that was the difference in the two. And I never looked back. So I had a great time.
I wish I'd spoken to you years back, because I never learned to keep my mouth shut at the appropriate time. It's got me into lots of trouble. Now, going on about being 18 when you joined, something that my father said, and I've spoken to you about my father before, he was out in Malaya, and you were out in Malaya as well. Now, he was in the 15th and 19th King's Royal Hussars at the time, and he said that the rules for the SAS changed while he was out there regarding the age you could be. And my father would, you know, was the kind of guy that wouldn't let the truth get in the way of good story. So whether this is true or not, I don't know. He said that they changed it so you had to be 21 to be in the SAS. So a load of guys came from the SAS to his regiment with their personal weapons, which were basically their choice, he said. So people came along with sawn off shotguns and all sorts of crazy things. Right, put me right here, is that rubbish or not?
No, it's rubbish really.
Yeah, I knew it. I could never trust my father. Probably isn't my father.
To join the regiment, there was a DCO Act, a Defence Council instruction, so anyone could volunteer in the regiment. You know, there is an age limit on it now, I believe. They want people about 25, but in my time, as long as you had a pulse, you could apply. Yeah. And if you passed selection, that was it. You was in the regiment, you know. And so anyone could turn up, and like I say, you had to pass selection. That was the only criteria, you know. So.
And then you later on became part of the selection process.
I run selection at one time.
Yeah. So did you relate back to when you first went through selection?
You never forget how you felt as a recruit, and we try to help potential volunteers. Unlike all the TV programs where you see they're trying to fail people, our job was to get people to pass. So we encourage people. We never shout the ball. I told you when to parade, what time, what with. If you weren't there, that was it, you binned yourself. We didn't have to sack you. And you had to come up to a standard. but there was no shouting the ball in, and it was encouragement. If I see you was lagging, I would encourage you to keep up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll give you extra training maybe. And we knew as long as you didn't give in, you would pass.
Yeah.
And so we wanted people to pass. We didn't want to fail you. You know, it's a self-failing process. And this is where they get the TV programs all wrong, you know. It's all done for sensationalism and for the TV basically.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that makes sense to me. Yeah. Now, saying about not giving in, I did a weekend kind of training with the TA SAS while back. I was too old to join, but it was part of their recruiting. And one of the things that I got from them was that, unlike the rest of the military, it wasn't really about physical. Obviously, physical comes into it. It's really about the mindset.
Don't let him shake your arm.
It's that not giving in process.
I mean, you've got to come in at a physical standard, but it's compatibility. We work 4-man patrols, isolated from everyone else. If you didn't get on, you could be the best in the world, but if you couldn't get on with people and adjust to the surroundings and that, and it was no good for the regiment, you know. So it was not only physical, it was compatibility.
Yeah.
That was all part of it, you know, and a willingness to learn, you know what I mean?
But, well, I did pre-warn you that I would be asking you some questions about if you were cast away on a desert island or just some remote island on your own, nobody else about, and I think you might have a chance of surviving. Actually, I think you know a few things, but if there's one piece of equipment that you could take with you, and I'll allow you already to have some kind of cutting tool, a knife or an axe or a machete or whatever, what would the piece of equipment be? One piece of equipment?
It'd be survival tin, you know.
Survival tin.
Survival tin, and it gives you the ability to make food, fire, shelter, water, navigation, medical. That's what you need to survive. So I thought he was going to ask me a person. I was going to say Sophie Lorraine.
Oh, well, yeah.
But survival tin.
Yeah, because there are all sorts of pieces of equipment in there. You've got like these chain saws, you've got compasses, you've got flint, fire steels, all those things. And I suppose that makes it much easier than having to make up a fire bow or whatever, you know, because you've got to make the call.
Well, that's it,
it's already there, so yeah.
You've got fish hooks, so you can do everything, you know.
Yeah.
And we recommend carry a tin.
Yeah. No, that seems like a really good choice because it's got a number of things in it.
Sure.
Okay. You were instrumental in setting up counter-terrorism units and probably quite a few other things. How did you go about that? Did you have much experience dealing with terrorists?
All the time, all our life we've been fighting terrorists, you know, and when there was a hijacking at Heathrow, we had to get a counter-terrorist, counter-hijack team, and all they had at the time was the guards from Windsor Castle surrounding Heathrow in their armoured cars. So the tour I see was my ex-boss. He said, Lofty, I was the Sergeant Major Biscuit at the time. He said, Lofty, former a counter-hijack team. So I formed a squadron into either snipers or assault team, and we had to take everything off the shelf to achieve this. Later on, we got things from industry, what we needed, because it's completely new for the regiment, you know what I mean? And it was assaulting all types of aircraft, buildings, trains, high-rise flats, tall order, and so to do that, needed special equipment, and so we had to form it, and gradually we went out to industry and we got everything we needed, like just things like ladders, you know, and platforms to enter buildings, and it comes such a long way. But I was about to start with what we had on the shelves. We got first three Range Rovers off the production line. I think Longbridge at the time, and that was the only specialist specialist kit we had initially. Because the idea was we had fast moved to where the situation was, and so fast driving was we had to need to do that, and the police took us on that. But that's the only specialist kit we had at the time. Everything else was off the shelf.
Yeah.
You know, we had no fireproof clothing, box standard gas masks, no mix. You know.
Yeah, 'cause of course I think a lot of people still think of the Iranian embassy siege, where you've got people in their respirators and everything, but there was obviously a build-up to get all of the appropriate equipment for abseiling in and everything.
That was a year later, you know, and by that time we had good gear, but they still they didn't have flameproof overalls, so they still got burned.
Yeah,
you know, you see, you know, so you know.
Well, I hope everybody can hear okay. We're at the Bushcraft show and there's a talk going on, so because they've got PA, there might be overshadowing us, if anybody can overshadow Lofty. Anyway, we'll move on to the next Marooned and Attuned question, and that's about a book. Is there one book that you would want to have? And I'm going to not allow you to say your own SAS Survival Handbook. That's possibly one I would take with me.
The College Oxford Dictionary. I love words. We play a lot of Scrabble, stuff like this. Do a lot of crosswords, and I do a bit of writing. And there's a word for everything, you know.
Yeah.
And so.
And language is important, isn't it?
I'm not an Oxford scholar or nothing, but I like writing. Like I say, if you find the right word, it paints a picture.
Yeah.
So I would take the dictionary. Never get fed up.
And it's the kind of thing where you can just sort of flick through, look up particular things at particular times, rather than reading it in a linear fashion. So we keep you occupied.
Learn 5 words every day, and yeah, that's what we take. Plus, if I got fed up, I could burn it.
Yeah.
And if I could get an edible variety, I could eat it. So I'm working on that.
Right, well, obviously I've mentioned the SAS Survival Guide, which you wrote, or it was probably already in process, but it was certainly published after you left the military, and that's probably what made you that massive name in survival that you are today. What made you decide to come out with that?
I was running survival training in the regiment, and the course notes were abysmal. And so I started writing up handouts for the course, and before I knew it, I had a book.
Yeah.
I went to my colonel and said, go and get it published, which I did. Never looked back, so that's how it come about. I've done it for the regiment, but he told me, get it published and then become a bestseller, and gave me the pedigree, gave me the publicity, never looked back.
And a nice retirement package for you too.
Excellent, excellent. That's why
When you did retire,
I'm dressed like this.
yeah.
When you come cheap.
I can tell, yeah. Sharp dressed man, which probably isn't the song that you've chosen for later, but we'll come to that in a while.
I've got to cut this short.
Yeah, okay.
Can we come back to it?
Yeah, well, should we just get on to the song then?
Good idea.
Yeah. Okay, so if there was one song to inspire you when you were out marooned on your own, what would it be and why?
Do you want me to sing it?
You sing it if you like, or just tell us what it is and then we'll play a video of it.
It's called Cuddy Cuddiana. I was brought up as a kid at school, and a guy from New Zealand come, it's a Maori farewell song, and he come to school and he impressed me, and he sung Cuddy Cuddiana. It's a Maori song, and it means a lot to us.
And made more famous by Kiri Tikanawa, the New Zealand opera singer. So what we'll do is we'll play that version.
She's lovely, yeah. And that's mine. So I've got to...
Right, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And I'll see you in the future.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
I hope you heard it a lot of that, so thank you very much.
Tia Chukor